Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you are here, and I am really excited for today's video. I am going to try to start filming monthly completed pages videos, and in those videos I will include any coloring books that I got in that month. So I couldn't wait till the end of this month. I was so excited and was trying to keep up with how many pages I got done for the month, and because I wanted to make a solid video for you. And now I've got everything tabbed off. I actually bought these little tabs off of Amazon and that are reusable and you can re-stick, but not too sticky to where it messes up your page. And I went through and marked all the pages that I did for the month. I also set aside all of my new coloring books, and I'm so excited to show them to you. So I hope you really enjoy this video. You seem to really enjoy the coloring book haul of my completed, all my pages and all my books, I mean. And I got so much feedback on that. I'm still getting lots of feedback on it in comments, and it makes me so happy. It also is really simple and fun to just pull up my camera and talk to you through the pages I've done and show you the coloring books that I have fallen in love with. And so it's the video I most enjoyed making, and it's the video that you seem to enjoy the most. So I'm excited to make more content like that. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. I just wanted to make a little intro since I haven't shown my face in the last few videos, and I've got so much planned. I've really taken time to write out all of my ideas, and yeah, I just have so many things planned. I've been busy with work, so I haven't been able to get out as many videos as I wanted to, but I'm excited for this one. So again, I hope that you enjoy this video. If you do, give me a like or comment. I love keeping up with them, as I've said in past videos. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and get into it. Okay, the first book that I did a page in is Devotion Through Color. And this book is by Joanne, and I'm not even going to try to say the last name because I know I will mess that up. But this book is on Amazon, so if you search the title, you should be able to find it easily. If you want to see any in-depth flip-throughs of every page of any of the books, you can find it in my coloring book collection video. But the page I did this month was the first one I did in January, and the verse says, "Commit your works to the Lord and your plans will be established," Proverbs 16:3. I chose this one to do for the new year because a lot of times we make resolutions and plans for what we want the new year to look like. And for me and my faith, I believe that everything is through God. And so this was just a good reminder as I set intentions for the year that if I commit to Him and put Him first, everything else will fall into place. So one thing I was really excited about with this page is for Christmas, I got some gel pens. And so on these little images around the verse, hopefully the light will catch them, but the hearts here, the butterflies, I did little glitter effects. And I thought this one turned out well. It was one of the pages that I made a mistake on. You can see here, I tried to do glitter with like a gold effect on the Lord here, and it really didn't turn out well. And then I tried to cover it up with black, and it just looked weird. So what I ended up doing is cutting out a piece of cardstock and gluing that on top of it, and then just writing Lord in my handwriting with my white Jelly Roll pen. But you can see how it was in the beginning. And then I did a shadow. I didn't like it, so I used the blender, the marker blender, to go right here. Let me just show you really quickly. In case anyone's wondering, these are the gel pens that I used. Color It, Free Your Creativity. This is also on Amazon, and it's just a nice small selection of both metallic and glitter pens. And I am a stickler with my alcohol markers. I love them, and they are my go-to always. However, I thought that whenever I see people use glitter pens, it brings out the inner child in me even more than just coloring with the alcohol markers. So I thought it would be really nice to embellish with them. And one of my pages I did entirely with it this month, so you'll see that. But I just wanted to show those. Otherwise, I always use Ohuhu alcohol markers. I have the 320 set. And So that's what I used in this otherwise, just the markers and the gel pens. But I thought it turned out cool. I did some shading and yeah, that is the first page I did this month. The next page I did is from RJ Hampson's Fantasy Tiny Homes. RJ Hampson is my favorite color book artist. And the page I did this month, I actually did a color with me doing this page. So there's a video on my channel of me picking out the colors for this and then completing the page. So if you want to see more details about that, you can go see that video. One thing that I didn't show in that video, because I was disappointed that this happened, I always clip off the little backing here so my alcohol markers don't bleed onto the next page. I clip this into place because I've found that when I color, then when it bleeds on it, if it moves and I'm coloring over a spot with a different color on this and I haven't cleaned it yet, it will pick up that ink and it will ruin what I had colored. So I think this is a great option to save paper, but I need it to stay in place. So I got some clips from the dollar store that I clip on, and you can see it in that video. But this is the first time it's ever done this, and I'm assuming it's because I put the clip on there when the ink was still wet, which I don't think I've ever done before, and it made a mark here, which is not a big deal, but it was a good learning experience for me. Otherwise, I like the way this one turned out. You can see in the video that I meant to do the elephants a lighter gray, and I accidentally picked up the wrong gray at one point, and I kind of had to go with my mistake and color them all the darker gray. So that was a little bit disappointing, but overall I still really liked the way this turned out. It's colors that I wouldn't have normally put together, and I think that it turned out really cute. The next page I did is in Wonderful Little World Volume 3, and it's the hobby book. This is one that I ordered off Amazon in the UK. And the page I did is these little creatures doing yoga. I don't know how I feel about this page. I like to give my debrief, and it's good for me to talk it out and figure out what I like and what I don't like and learn from my mistakes. This page I did, let me show you the color palette I chose. So this was the color palette I chose. It's number 484 from the color catalog. And I just thought it was colors I wouldn't have normally put together. And I thought that it looked kind of retro and cool for this page. And then I went off of that and added to it, which it ended up kind of just being a rainbow. But it was a lot more colorful than I normally would do. And I was trying to push myself out of my comfort zone. But yeah, I feel conflicted. It makes me feel nostalgic in a way. I think maybe what I don't like about this is I'm realizing I'm not super crazy about the artwork in this book. I don't know, there's something about it. Maybe it's that it doesn't have a lot of shading. Like, that's what I like about RJ Hampson's books, is the shading and the details and kind of the sketchiness. And this book is just interesting. Like, these little critters, their faces, and it's got zero shading. And I don't know, it just, like this mouse right here, what's going on there? You know, it's just, there's something I can't quite put my finger on that's a little bit off now that I like the idea of animals having hobbies. But when I really am looking at the artwork, there's something that I'm not super drawn to about it, or that I don't feel like came together. But I still think it's a really cute book and really cute ideas. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this page. The other thing I did want to say about this book is this is the first time I colored on the paper in this book. And I don't know if you can see here on the tree, but it's very streaky. And I tried to kind of make it look like wood grain and work with it. And then the grass, it, again, was very streaky, so I ended up dotting it. But you can tell that it really shows the strokes you do. A lot of paper, you wouldn't be able to do these details with alcohol markers like this. So that made this page really tricky. It's very interesting because the paper, I guess it's almost like it's so smooth. The way it glides on the paper, it's just unlike anything I've ever felt with my alcohol markers. but it dries really fast. So no matter how quickly you're going and trying to make sure it doesn't dry before you get to your next stroke, it's already dried. It's like immediate. It was crazy. So I really had to be careful with this. And I tried to use it to my advantage, adding fur to the bear and the detailing to the grass and the wood grain. But it did make this page less enjoyable. It felt really satisfying because the paper was so smooth, but the product of how the markers showed up on it was just really tricky. It's not the kind of paper I think anyone would want to use as a beginner with alcohol markers, but it was still, it was a learning experience, and I still think it's a cute page. But yeah, I ended up you can kind of tell it doesn't have as much shadowing as I normally do on my pictures, because I ended up thinking, I'm kind of sick of the page and I don't want to do anymore. And I heard someone in a YouTube video say once that, if you're done with the page, no shame in that. Like, if you're not enjoying it anymore, put it down and go to your next one. So that's kind of where I got to with this. And I stopped shading and thought, you know what, it's done. So that's how I feel about this page. Then I did a page in this book. I mentioned in my coloring book collection video, that I wanted a book with mandalas or mandalas. Gosh, I always say that wrong. But I got this for Christmas, and so I was so excited. Oh no, is there a little mess up there? I think there might be. But I got this, and I put my new gel pens to the test here. And this turned out really beautiful, I think. I want to say I used this color palette. I'm not 100% sure about this one, but this is number 367 of the color catalog. And I showed this in my Color Cube unboxing video, that I loved this and I never would have thought to put these colors together. I think obviously the gel pens have a much more limited color palette than my alcohol markers. So I want to say that I went roughly with this with the idea of having a purple, a pink, an orange, a yellow, and then a blue. And I did get out a white. I didn't end up using the right white, but I do think this is the one that I started with, and then I made it my own based on the colors I had. Similar to how I feel about colored pencils, I didn't enjoy this page as much because it's just so much more time consuming than alcohol markers. This took several days. In fact, I think it took me several different nights over the course of a couple weeks because I just wasn't super stoked about it. But I think it turned out looking really cool, but it also, just like I feel about colored pencils, has streaks. And I know that I've seen people do really cool things with both colored pencils and gel pens, but I just haven't mastered the art of those. I've gotten multiple comments about trying Prismacolor color pencils, so I am tempted to get some of those and try that for a video and get your suggestions, because so many people love it and I love the way they look. I just have not, like I said, I just struggle with colored pencils, and I love alcohol markers and how fast they go, and I've gotten them down. I think I've got a really good grasp of them. Ultimately, I've just gotten really used to alcohol markers and how quickly you can do a page because of the fat tip, and I think that it just makes anything else like colored pencils and gel pens feel so much longer because I'm so used to the alcohol markers. But yeah, I think that this ended up looking really nice, but I think I will just continue using the gel pens as embellishments and detailing instead of full pages. Next, I did a couple of pages in Girl Moments. This is by Coco, and one of these, again, I did a color with me video on. This one I did, as you can see, I did on the 6th and the 11th of January, but I did this one actually in the car, and I just had so much fun with it. I don't think I chose a color palette for this. I think I just, in my mind, was thinking about how yellow and purple are complementary colors. And from there, I just kept it pretty simple, and I wanted to do something that was winter related, and this made me feel, I was sad Christmas was over, and this brought my coziness to life again. And then this one is really muted, especially compared to that winter page. This is very muted, but I really liked the way that this color palette turned out, and I was really happy with this page. I made, again, some mistakes. I meant to do the yellow for the like light reflecting here before I did the other colors. And so I ended up using the colorless blender here to dilute the color and then put yellow on top of it. I also did these cats gray at first, and then I changed them to orange. You can see that all in my Color With Me video. But yeah, I really liked the way this one turned out, and I showed the color palette I used in that video as well. But I just think this one turned out really nice. I am a neutrals person, so this page I really liked it. I also did a page in Crittersville, and I really was happy with this one. It was very different than anything I've ever done, and it was actually the first time I had played around. I did this one before I did the last one, and it was the first time I'd played around with doing that light effect. And you know, obviously it's not perfect, but I was like, wow, that was really simple, and it kind of worked. So I didn't do it down here with the fire because I was at the end when I realized this, but that's something that I'm definitely putting in my toolbox for the future. And I really thought this was a very cozy, again, I wanted to do something cozy and wintry, and I thought that this one, you know, scratched that itch, so to speak. I loved that at first I was going to do brown bears, and then I thought about this being brown, and I was visualizing it in my head, and I thought, I love black bears because my family has always gone to Gatlinburg every year, and that's what I'm used to seeing. And so I made these guys little black bears. And another thing I liked about this, it just really pushed me out of my comfort zone because I did the light effect, and then I didn't know what to do with their mouth because black bears don't have, you know, a different color there. And I thought, well, it doesn't have to be realistic. I'll just make it what I want to do it and do it a light gray. And I think it kind of worked out. And I also played around with a glass technique, making it look kind of see-through. And I don't know how I feel about it fully, but this was the first page that I started playing around with different techniques, and I've continued to play around with them. And I'm working on trying to practice them so I can make videos for you guys on some of the things that have worked for me that are easy. And so I'm really playing around with that. So for that reason, I really enjoyed this page. It still has a lot going on as far as the colors go, but I don't know, it still makes me feel cozy. I love the fireplace. Like, if you take all this stuff away, I love the way all of this looks. I think this just got a little busy with the book and over here, but I think that this looks really nice. This is the color palette that I started with, number 110 from the color catalog. I loved this color palette. But I think the mistake that I make with keeping to a color palette is I just get excited about adding in different colors. So this is what I start with, and then I go and add in anything that, as I look at the picture, like, oh, what am I going to do this? And what am I going to do that? And I pick colors for that. And then I look at them together and see how they go. And I like the way that all of this looks. But I think something that I need to learn is, for instance, purple is not anywhere in this. And purple is a cool color, and these are very warm and inviting, and that's kind of the look I was going for. And when I added in all this purple, it, I think, clashes with the coziness and the warm colors. And I need to understand that, like, that purple curtain, when I look at this, that's the first thing my eyes go to, because it stands out. And so I think you lose the color palette because I add in too many colors, you know? So that's something that I'm learning, and I need to figure out that if I want this to be the prominent color palette, then I need to make the biggest parts of the image these colors and just supplement here and there. But I just get so excited about adding in different colors, and then I go a little too crazy, and then the picture loses its, you know, I was trying though. Like, I kept his outfit the same as the kids color-wise, and I tried to pull in the purple in different spots and not do too many colors, but still, I think I lost this. Had you taken that away, I think it would have ended up fine. But that's my thought process on that. I really like seeing how people think through the colors because that's obviously something that I struggle with. And I think that it makes or breaks a page. And I put a lot of pressure on myself to pick the right colors. So that's why I always talk about the color catalog. And I love it so much because it really has helped me out. And I'm learning a lot from it. I'm not fully there, but I'm learning a lot from it. And then I did a page in this book. This was actually a gift from my best friend. I went and visited her at the beach and she gave this to me as a Christmas present. And I'd never gotten a coloring book as a gift. And I was so excited about this because I've seen Tiny Worlds books and I have some on my Amazon wish list of coloring books that I want to get. And I've never seen the Pocket Pets version. And her and I used to work together actually as animal caretakers. I don't think I've ever shared this on my channel, but I used to work with animals at a museum and I would take care of alligators and anything from alligators to farm animals. I always joke and say alligators to alpacas, everything in between. Over 40 different species of animals I would take care of and present, and her and I did that together. And so this was just a really sweet, thoughtful gift because we both love animals and that's what our backgrounds are in. So I did this page. She picked it and said this one called to her, obviously, because her degree's in marine biology and she knows so much about all things sea life and the beach. And so I chose this one. And as you can see, like I was saying, I've been playing around with different techniques. And in this one, I really played around with the glass technique. And I really like the way it turned out. Again, I feel like I have to preface that it's not perfect, but I'm really leaning into making mistakes and learning from them. And so I feel really proud of it anyway. But basically, this had none of these lines were in the background here. But you obviously can see in the jar. So that was, I didn't know what to do with that because if you can't see through the glass in the back, then how are you going to be able to see in the jar? So it obviously, to me, logically needed to be see-through. I understand they probably didn't want to make it cluttered, but I tried to go with it. So I drew in the lines back here, which was really challenging with all the different lines and trying to determine what was the ship and what wasn't. And I don't know, it was a little bit tricky over here, making sure I didn't miss any. And then I colored in with a lighter shade, as you can tell, to make it look like the light was reflecting differently through the glass. And you can tell with the cork as well. And yeah, I really liked it. I don't know if I could go back, if I would do these lines again to highlight the glass. You can let me know what you think. I don't know. I feel like it's unclear what those are, and I think that the colors themselves made it look like a glass bottle without these lines here. I kind of felt like that ruined it, but I still like it. This was another book where it really picked up streaks easily, and the ink dried really quickly, and it picked up streaks, which again, I tried to just go with and add dots and textures to the wood, but it does make a page a little bit trickier when it's like that, but I'm trying to learn to work with it. But this one's called Shipwreck Shore, and it is by Alex Oxton, and I'll do a flip through in just a second. The last completed page I did is also in a new book. This is Enchanting Shopfronts from Around the World by Urban Anna. And this book I was so excited about. I was hanging out with my husband's family and we went into a Joann's, and because his mom loves to crochet, and I saw this book and my sweet sister-in-law was like, I'll get that for your birthday. And so she got it for me because I was obsessed, and that's just what I am. I'm obsessed. And I'll you know what? I'll go on a tangent about it once I flip through. But basically, let me just show you the page I did. So it has a demonstration page, which none of the books I have this. And I was intimidated by it because I was nervous like it wouldn't end up looking as good as what they had. And so I've always kind of veered away from books like that. But you know what? I loved it because I didn't have to pick colors. I was able to just go on autopilot and just mindlessly, while I was watching TV, pick out colors that were similar and make it my own too at the same time. And, add shadows in different places or highlights. And I've really enjoyed it. So the artist did watercolor, and that's a completely different effect than alcohol markers, obviously. But yeah, I really think it turned out nicely, and I feel so excited about this one. These are real storefronts from around the world, and this one is in Yarton, UK. I'm not sure, but how to say that. But yeah, I just thought this was such a neat idea. And like I said, I'll probably go on a tangent separately when I flip through the book, but I wanted to show you the page I did. And I decided, one thing I didn't think about when I said I liked it was the fact that like I chose a different page to do. And if I would have done that page, I would have ruined what was on the other side. And so I realized I'm going to have to do this book back to front, so I can't just pick a page I want. But that's totally okay because I just love the book so much. But anyway, you can see I kind of made it my own, but kept it pretty similar. But, you know, I decided to fade out with my alcohol blender the edges here. And yeah, these bricks are a little darker than what I meant for them to be. But I still think it turned out really nice. I also kind of messed up here on the back, but I don't know. Yeah, I was super excited about this one, and it was just really enjoyable to turn my mind off and to feel no pressure about picking colors because I need to say it again, I guess, that I struggle with picking colors. So I enjoyed not having to do that for this one. Okay, now I'm going to go through the new coloring books I got for the month, and the first one is one that I didn't have a completed page in yet, but it's Brown Bear Wood, a search and find coloring book, over 100 things to find. And let me tell you, I am absolutely obsessed with this book. I've wanted it for a long time, and I was waiting because I wanted to get the children's books that the art is out of, because I saw someone on YouTube show that she got this book and then she got those again, so she didn't have to pick the colors. She could just base it off of the storybooks. And like I said, that's something I've been enjoying, is just copying how something else has colored the picture. Recently I've just been liking that to do like at night to wind down. And this book is adorable. So again, it's a search and find coloring book, and I'm going to do a really brief flip through for anyone that just wants to see it, but then I'll talk a little more about it. This is so cute. You know what? I think they're all this way. So I'll kind of explain my thought process as I'm flipping through here, that Andrew and I hope to have a family someday if we're blessed enough to have one. And I love children's books, and kind of for the same reason I like coloring. It feels nostalgic. It takes me back to simpler times, and I just love books, and I love the illustrations in children's books. And these are actually from children's books, which I'll show you because I bought the children's book. And I love search and finds as well. I actually have a search and find book. So this has a pretty thick piece of cardboard on the back, I guess, to press on, which is nice. But I actually have this book, the big book of search and find, that feels like something from the 70s, like Schoolhouse Rock. And the way that it crackles and I flip through and it feels like a newspaper, it also gives me a very nostalgic feeling. And it was like $7 or $8 on Amazon. And I pull this out every once in a while with a good old pencil and just go to town trying to find different things. And it's kind of like Where's Waldo? And because each image, this was a mall one that I did, each image has like a person that you search for, and then it has all of these things. But it's just, again, something that's mindless and fun for some reason for me. So this is a much cuter version of that. And I thought that it would be a really cool idea to fill in this book and to have it for my children. So that was kind of my thought process behind it. Also, it's just really cute and enjoyable. But this is the two books that a lot of the artwork comes out of. And I don't think I've read this one all the way through yet, but I actually sat down and read this one and had the time of my life. It's called Grand Old Oak and the Birthday Ball. And it's by, the poems are by Rachel Piercy and the illustrations are by Freya Hartas. And this book is about this oak tree that is turning 500 years old, and the woodland creatures come together and plan him a birthday party. When I tell you that my heart was melting reading this, it is the cutest children's book I've ever seen, and it just really has an emphasis on enjoying nature and letting your imagination go to town. So it tells you poems, and then you can see here, and it's again search and find, except they're colored, and it goes through, and these little critters, let me see if I can kind of give you the storyline here. They plan the birthday party, and then they get invitations together and get RSVPs. And this one I love underground. You know, I said in my coloring book collection video that I love like little homes and when it shows critters having little lives, and that's exactly what this is. And then preparations and presents, like there somewhere in here there's little right here, little chipmunks making wrapping paper with little paw prints, counting down the days, and then the birthday ball begins, and then they put on a play. This is one of the coloring pages in there. It's gonna be so fun to do. Then time for bed, they're all cleaning up. And then in the back, it takes you through tree trail. So if you have children, it takes you through things you can do. First of all, it takes you, like, you can go back and try to find all the pollinators in the book and the spring flowers in the book and things like that. And then it also takes you through things you can do in the real world, like think about getting some leaves and tracing them and then coloring them in, because leaves change colors and different things like that. Just such a sweet idea. And then it also gives you an idea to go and find, now can you go outside and find a special tree near you? I just cannot tell you how excited I got about this book. And then it goes and talks about if you want to throw a woodland themed party, what you can do and how you can send natural invitations with pressed flowers, leaves, and potato stamps, and create a menu and decorate the cake. And you can use, you know, shredded coconut with green food coloring for a grassy backdrop, or grated chocolate to make a tree trunk. I mean, I am absolutely obsessed. You can see the little chipmunks making wrapping paper. And then in the back, it's got party resources such as National Geographic Kids, Science Buddies, and then tree resources to learn about the tree in your backyard. And the illustrator of this book, Freya Hartas, she actually has a book that I've really been wanting for a long time that's called like Slow Down or something. And I obviously adore her artwork, and it's got beautiful illustrations about different things that happen in nature that, you know, cause you to slow down and take them in. Like, I think the one on the front is a butterfly, you know, getting a cocoon and coming out, or a chrysalis. And it's got little things like that though, and something about a snail, you know, finding a shell, different things. And it's so beautiful. I saw it in Books A Million or Barnes and Noble the other day, and I just pieced together it was the same woman when I got this and saw her name, and I have to get that book. I love that idea. I've been really trying to emphasize in my life slowing down and not get caught up in busy culture and hustle or hustle culture. And, you know, I've just been trying to enjoy the little things. And I love that this is a book that, you know, if I'm blessed enough to have children, I can raise them with those morals. And then this one is If You Go Down to the Woods Today. And I think this one was the first one in the series. And then there's one coming out in June that's already on pre-order on Amazon. And anyway, you get the idea. It's got the same stuff in the back. I haven't read this one out thoroughly yet, but it's got the same kind of stuff. And then it just goes through different things that happen, like Bear's Campfire, art class, a rainy day. And so just different things that happen in the woods. And I just cannot tell you how much I love these books, and I appreciate you listening to my rant about them. I hope that you enjoyed taking a peek at them with me too. But let me show you really quickly, and then I'll move on to the next book, an example of the pages side by side. So here's that page I was talking about with the play, and here it is in here. Bear performs in a play. Now it's a little bit tricky because the images are ever so slightly different, and they're obviously like cut off, like the oak tree's not in this one. And there's just little changes, like you can see this little guy's turned around, but it's similar enough to where I can use this as inspiration and then kind of make it my own. But I just thought this would be so cool to complete and then be able to give to my children when they're old enough to go through and find these and know that, you know, their mom colored it in. I don't know, just thought it was a cute idea. And obviously great that it's single-sided so I don't ruin it with my alcohol markers. This feels very necessary for colored pencils though. The fact that it's so small and detailed, this might be a book that I need to go with colored pencils, and maybe that's when I'll get into Prismacolor because also it not only is it so detailed, but it's got lots of shading, and I think it would hide the streaks and it would kind of look good with the style of art. So this might be my inspiration to get me some Prismacolors, and I'll have to make a video so that I can get your suggestions on what I'm doing wrong and show you me trying them. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to show this to you. So I got those 3 books, and I will be getting the 3rd one in this series when it comes out in June. And then we have the Mandala book, which I already showed. This is actually the same people that did the gel pens. I forgot to mention that. And I had it on my Christmas list. My grandmother got it for me. And again, I keep referring back to my coloring book collection video, but I mentioned in that I didn't think that I liked this style of art before, and then I did one time, and being able to just choose a color palette and just choose a few colors, take it to my bed with me, and do it before bed was really, really relaxing, and there was zero pressure, and it was like hypnotizing. I don't know. There's something about it, the repetitive nature of going in the circle, and it was really satisfying to have done. It was quicker than a full page. For so many reasons. Oh, I love this one. For so many reasons, and that one, some good ones. I just really enjoyed it. So I wanted a full book of them because I don't have many of them in my other books. And this has a lot of them. And this is, I believe, volume 1, but they have a ton. And I watched a lot of flip throughs, and this was my favorite book with them by far. I mean, I saw a lot of flip throughs of books with mandalas, and I mean that this brand Colorya had my favorite ones, but I liked multiple of the volumes. So if I end up filling this one up and really using it enough, I'll definitely want to get the other ones. It's just the gift that keeps on giving. It's got quite a lot in here. I want to say there's like 50 maybe. Sorry if my hands are covering any of them. It's an awkward angle flipping up like this. Should have done it sideways. I'm sticking to it now. Oh gosh. Okay. So yeah, this one has 50 original hand-drawn designs. Volume 1, Color It, off of Amazon. And then again, this is the first book I got that someone just saw and thought about me. And I love the concept. It's almost like Polly Pockets, but with little animals, which I don't have a book like that where it's got like a tiny little, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but tiny, I don't know, but it's almost like little terrarium-like things. So, and it's so random. This is a hamster house and a clock, and it's TikTok Hamster Haven. This one's Bitty Bear Garden, Acorn Dreams Dog Park, Teeny Tiny Terrarium, or Teeny Tiger Terrarium, Shipwreck Shore, Sea Spray Aquarium, an aquarium inside a perfume, Bubble Hop Manor, Little Spool Flying School. This is my favorite page. Fawcett Creek Beaver Dam. I don't know why I love this one. It's a beaver dam in a sink. It's my favorite. Icy Pale Island. Hidden Hoot Owl Sanctuary. Tiny Turtles Wellness Camp. Some of these are a mouthful. Snuggle Time Stopwatch. Pineapple Palms Resort. Tiny Tusk Safari. Mini Match Panda Palace. Sorry, I almost said Paradise. Bitty Bloom's Giraffe Park. Mini Roo Ocean Ranch. I'm certainly saying some of these wrong. Happy Splash Dolphins Park, because I'm going too fast. Bonsai Bliss Reserve. Bonnie Block Daycare. Otter Adventures Bottle Cap Canal. Money Mouse Pocket House. Potted Palace at Barnacle Bay. Pushpin Parrot Hideaway. Mary Mill Mini Hippo Farm. Growing Glove Lion Den. Open Book Deer Park. What in the world is happening? Sunny Sands Camel Caravan. Hidden Holly Christmas Cabin. Playful Pups Sock Den. Bear Bottle Swimming Hole. Sweet Dreams Mini Monkey Hut. I'm going to just keep going. Little Lemur Snapshot Cottage. Great Mornings Rooster Barn. This is one of my favorites too. Cheese grater with chickens. Leaping Leopards Butterfly Garden. Frozen Globe Penguin Camp. Mini Monkey Gumball Manor. Smallest Steeds Toy Bin Barn. Sleepy Sloth's Pool Cord Penthouse. Mini Mammoth Fireside Fort. I didn't see that one before. That's cute. Bitty Biomes Nature Preserve. Biomes might have been the word I was looking for. But this is like multiple different types of animals in little jars. Puppy Dish Pool Party. Itty Bitty Bandits. Raindrop Shallot. And then Sock Drawer Sahara. One of my other favorites. Zebras in Sock Drawer. And that's everything. These pages are perforated. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Gosh, my brain is not functioning well after all those tongue twisters. But I feel like flipping through them, I think that they're probably going to end up coming out on their own from flipping through them and bending it backwards and everything. Especially the bottoms here are already ripping open. So some of these pages might not be intact. But that's okay. I'll just shove them back in here. But that's Tiny World's Pocket Pets, and the illustrations are Alex Oxton. And then last but not least, the one that I said I was going to save my rant for, but then proceeded to kind of go on a rant about, is Urban Anna's Enchanting Shopfronts from Around the World. And again, I just don't have anything like this. I really like coloring architecture, and I thought this was such a cool idea. So this has all of the different shop fronts and where they are in the world. Hopefully you can get a good look at that. And then, like I said, there is a image on the left to show you what it actually looks like. And I just love that. And it's watercolor. I love the look of it. I just love the idea of this book. Again, I got it from Joanne's. This was probably my favorite page. It was the one I was going to do before I realized it would have ruined this page. It's like, I don't know, I've always loved storefronts, but I don't travel much, and it's like I'm traveling just by flipping a page. It's so cool to me that it's real places in the world, and that I have the demonstration image here so I don't have to pick colors. I like the little rounded pages here, all the details. I like the fact that the paper is a little bit yellow and that the lines are kind of gray, kind of like the country, the Erie book that I showed, that I have, the cottage, gosh, what's it called? The romantic country books. That's what I'm talking about. And then that's the page I showed earlier. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments which page was your favorite, and also let me know if you enjoy this kind of content so I can know what you like. Like I said, I just was basing off of the feedback I got from the coloring book video that I think that you like this kind of style. So, and I enjoy filming them the most because I get to chat and talk about what I like and kind of talk through my pages, and I just love that kind of stuff. So if you enjoy it and I enjoy it, it's perfect. So let me know, and or at least give me a thumbs up if you like it, just so I can kind of gauge that. And again, thank you so much for watching this video, especially to make it all the way to the end here. I am so happy that you are here, and I can't wait to see you in my next one. Until then, happy coloring!